All right, good afternoon, Year 12s. I am going to show you how to do a couple of things on Excel. The first is how to work out the confidence interval. So I want a 95% confidence interval. I've got here a whole lot of numbers. This is the data that I've figured out from whatever experiment I've done. I've calculated here the mean already using this formula. And what I now need to know is the confidence interval. So in Excel, you need to go to Data. So there's a Data tab at the top. And over here, you can see we've got a section which says Data Analysis. That's what we're going to be using. There's a whole lot of choices there. The one that we're going to be using is just plain old descriptive statistics. Okay, I've done this already, so the information's already been entered. So I'll just delete that so that you can see how I got the information. Okay, the first thing that we need to think about is the input range. What data do we want Excel to analyze for us? And our input range is going to be those cells there. Don't include the mean, okay, because that's just something I calculated as well myself. Only include the data that um, you want to analyze. The next thing is what is the output range, and that is just where we're going to put it. So I'm just going to put it underneath. Oops, I forgot to show you one more thing. Before you hit OK, you just need to check that you've got ticked off here, summary statistics, confidence level for mean 95. So tick those two boxes there. Okay, and I've already clicked OK, so I'm going to go with cancel now. Okay, so what we have here, and I'll just get rid of that so you can see a little better. This has given me all of this statistical analysis for my data with very little effort on my part. So it's calculated for me the mean, standard error. Some of you want to talk about standard error. Some of you want to talk about standard deviation. But the one that I was looking for is the confidence level. So I know that the value for all of these data points is 5.142857. 5.14 plus or minus this number here, 1.12. What I want to do now is to graph this information. So I'm just going to pull it over here. Sometimes, usually, you're going to graph two sets of information at once, but I'll just show you how we're going to graph this one piece of information, and then you can extrapolate to graphing two pieces of information. So you know that when we go to we highlight the data that we want. We're going to go to insert charts. We're going to go for this one, and a bar chart, a column, a 2D column. That looks lovely. That's what we want. Okay, so here we have a column chart. It says piece of information 1, and our value is 5.14. All right. How we now need to add the, what's it call it, confidence intervals to this. So normally we're going to get a little add, we need to go to add chart element. So we go to home. Now we'll move that over a bit. No, hang on, keeps disappearing. Okay, so what we need to do is we're going to go to, we've clicked on the graph that we want to change. We're going to go to design and click on design. Over here we've got add chart element, and what we need to add are some error bars. Okay, and there's a few choices there. So you can add the standard error, you can add a percentage. So there's adding 5%. You can add the standard deviation if you give it the correct information, but we're actually going to do a custom error bar. And I'll just move the screen so you can see what's over this side. And I'll move myself. Okay, so if we scroll down here, you can do all of these are all the choices of what error bars you want to put in. Okay, what we actually want to do is a custom error bar, and we're going to specify the value. And the value that we're going to specify is this confidence interval here. Okay, so we're going to specify that for, hang on, let's get rid of all that, beg your pardon. It equals this value, and also we need to specify it for the negative value of the same value, and cross our fingers. It's worked. Okay, So we've specified this value, 1.12. So now our graph is showing us the mean, 5.14, and this error bar is showing us plus or minus 1.123674. Okay, so there's plus the 1.12 and subtract the 1.12. And we can just check that because we know that 5.1 plus 1.1 is about 6.2. And 5.1 subtract 1.1 is going to be about 4. So that is how you can do a graph with those error bars.